Let's see here. Now I'm gonna slide this down.
Okay.
Okay, so you have pretty normal breasts. It's normal to have some sagging to your breasts.
All started with one leaked video, a few seconds that sent the entire fan base spiraling into chaos. The clip showed Ashley, lying in a hospital bed, whispering something that no one was supposed to hear. Within hours, social media exploded. Whispers turned into full-blown rumors, and soon every gossip page had the same headline: Ashley's pregnant. And Mendeecees might be the father. People couldn't believe it. How could Ashley, who once stood beside Zayne through every storm, end up at the center of this scandal? And why was Mendeecees' name suddenly being thrown into the fire? The internet detectives went wild, zooming in, matching timestamps, comparing voices. Fans claimed they spotted Mendeecees in the background of that very hospital clip. Others said it was all staged. But one thing was certain: Zayne had seen enough. As the tension built, the air around their circle grew toxic. Every post, every story, every live stream carried hidden messages and veiled threats. Friends began choosing sides, and what started as a rumor was now shaping into the most explosive fallout this reality circle had ever seen. And if you think this is just gossip, wait till you hear what happened next. The story began quietly, almost too quietly for anyone to notice what was happening behind the scenes. Ashley had been off the grid for weeks, avoiding cameras, skipping events, and canceling brand appearances without explanation. Fans started asking questions, wondering if something was wrong, but her silence only made them more curious. When the hospital video surfaced, everything clicked. The short clip showed Ashley in a hospital gown, a faint smile on her face, whispering to someone off camera. It was Mendeecees' voice that people claimed to recognize. Calm, comforting, and just a little too familiar. Almost overnight, timelines flooded with speculation. Some fans defended her, insisting it was a misunderstanding, while others swore this was proof of a secret relationship that had been brewing for months. What no one expected, though, was how Zayne would react. Sources close to him revealed that he had been suspicious for a while, noticing how distant Ashley had become, how her tone had changed whenever Mendeecees' name came up. But seeing that video was the breaking point. He didn't yell or post anything online. Instead, he went completely silent, and that silence spoke louder than any words could. The next morning, paparazzi caught Zayne leaving their house, his face tense, his phone pressed to his ear. Insiders say he had just spoken to his lawyer. The word divorce was already being whispered in the background. Friends tried to intervene, calling him to calm things down before they got worse, but Zayne wasn't hearing it. He felt humiliated, blindsided, and betrayed. For years, he had stood by Ashley through every scandal, defending her against rumors, shutting down hate online, and now it felt like she had taken his loyalty for granted. Meanwhile, Ashley stayed out of sight. No statements, no denials, no explanations, just silence. That silence became its own kind of confirmation for many fans. Her management team reportedly told her to stay quiet until they could control the narrative. But by then, it was too late. Bloggers had already started connecting dots, posting side-by-side photos of Ashley and Mendeecees at private events, analyzing glances, body language, even matching pieces of jewelry. It was wild how far people were willing to go to find proof. Things escalated even further when a second clip appeared. This time, a short moment of Ashley talking to someone who sounded unmistakably like Mendeecees. "You'll be there when it happens, right?" she said softly, and that one line set social media on fire. Hashtags began trending, and the narrative shifted from rumor to confirmed in a matter of hours. Even though no one could verify the clip's authenticity, it didn't matter. People believed what they wanted to believe, and by then, the story had taken on a life of its own. Zayne's friends later revealed that he had confronted Ashley privately before everything blew up. The conversation was said to be emotional, full of long pauses, tears, and accusations. He asked her straight up if there was something between her and Mendeecees, and though no one knows exactly what she said, whatever her answer was broke him completely. Shortly after, Zayne was spotted removing his wedding ring during a live event. The image of him setting it on the table before walking off became symbolic. Fans started calling it the moment love ended. Inside sources from their circle claimed Ashley's family was equally torn. Her mother was heartbroken, insisting the rumors weren't true, while her sister reportedly told her to come clean before it got worse. And while all this unfolded, Mendeecees stayed completely quiet, offering no comments, no clarifications, nothing. His silence added more mystery to the situation. A few close friends of Mendeecees hinted that he and Ashley had been spending time together during a charity project months earlier. They described their bond as instant chemistry, though at the time it was brushed off as professional. Now everyone was revisiting those moments, wondering if there had been something more. By the end of the week, Zayne officially unfollowed Ashley on all platforms, deleted their photos together, and shared a cryptic post that simply read, "Some truths destroy more than lies ever could." Fans immediately flooded his comments with messages of support, anger, and disbelief. The internet had taken sides, Team Zayne and Team Ashley, and the war of words between their supporters turned the scandal into a public battlefield. Reporters began reaching out to Ashley's team for an official statement, but nothing came. Instead, a blurry photo leaked showing her leaving a clinic late at night. Was she hiding her pregnancy or just avoiding attention? Either way, the image went viral instantly. As the pressure mounted, even people from outside their circle started chiming in. Celebrities, influencers, and reality TV stars who had once appeared with them were now dropping subtle comments online, adding fuel to the fire. One even tweeted, "When you play with loyalty, karma always finds your address," which fans took as a direct shot at Ashley. The tension reached its peak when Zayne reportedly moved out of their shared home. Neighbors claimed moving trucks arrived late one evening, and within hours, most of his belongings were gone. It was as if he had erased himself from their story completely. People who knew him said this wasn't just about betrayal, it was about embarrassment. To have something so personal, so painful, become public in front of millions was more than he could take. Ashley, on the other hand, was seen once again at the same hospital where the video was filmed, this time with her best friend by her side. No one knows what she was there for, but witnesses claimed she looked tired, emotional, and visibly shaken. If she was expecting, she hadn't said a word about it, but the look on her face said everything. The fallout didn't just affect their relationship, it rippled through their entire circle. Brands began quietly distancing themselves from both Ashley and Zayne. Mendeecees, too, found himself under scrutiny, with his own partner reportedly demanding answers behind closed doors. What began as whispers had now become a full-blown scandal, and no one could control it anymore. The story had become so massive that even mainstream outlets began covering it, dissecting every update, every screenshot, every sighting. Still, despite all the noise, the three people at the center of it, Ashley, Zayne, and Mendeecees, remained silent. That silence, thick and heavy, made the world even more desperate for answers. And deep down, everyone wondered, was this the end of Ashley and Zayne's marriage, or just the beginning of something far darker? Days passed, but the chaos didn't fade. It grew louder, messier, and far more personal. The public had turned their heartbreak into a spectacle. Everywhere Ashley or Zayne's name appeared, it was followed by screenshots, old interviews, or alleged proof that their marriage had been crumbling for months. It wasn't just gossip anymore. It was a full-blown social media investigation. The video from the hospital, which had first appeared on a small gossip page, had now spread across every major platform. Analysts slowed the clip down, enhanced the audio, and broke down every word. "That's definitely Mendeecees," one fan claimed, comparing the voice to his old TV appearances. Others argued it was fake, a deep fake, or maybe even a cruel setup to destroy reputations. But the damage was already done. The narrative was set, and people were convinced that Ashley was carrying Mendeecees' child. While the internet burned with theories, Zayne's silence became more noticeable. His friends said he was in disbelief, that he had always believed Ashley would never cross that line. One insider described him sitting alone, scrolling through comments that questioned his dignity and manhood, whispering to himself, "She couldn't have done this." But every time he tried to push the doubts away, another piece of evidence popped up online, pulling him deeper into anger and confusion. Ashley, meanwhile, was isolated. Her phone barely stopped ringing, but she wasn't answering anyone except her closest friend, who tried to keep her calm. That friend later told reporters that Ashley hadn't denied being pregnant. She just refused to talk about who the father was. "She's tired," the friend said softly. "She's not ready to face the world yet." What made things worse was Mendeecees' reaction, or rather, the lack of one. He was spotted attending events, posing for pictures, even smiling, while chaos raged around his name. Fans called his silence suspicious, accusing him of hiding the truth. And when someone confronted him online, asking directly if he was the father, his reply was short. "Y'all believe too much of what you see." But that only made things worse. Zayne had enough. One night, he went live. Not to explain, not to confirm, but to vent. Sitting in a dimly lit room with tired eyes and a shaky voice, he said, "You give someone your loyalty, your time, your everything, and all you get is lies. I was there for her through everything, but I guess that wasn't enough." Fans flooded the live with messages of support, but he ended it abruptly, muttering, "Some things can't be fixed." Within an hour, his team confirmed that divorce papers had been filed. The internet went wild. Headlines screamed about betrayal, heartbreak, and hidden secrets. Some fans began posting old clips of Ashley and Mendeecees laughing together during events, claiming that the chemistry was always there. Others defended Ashley, saying she was being framed by people who wanted to tear her down. The division was deep, even among fellow reality stars. One former castmate wrote in a story, "People love to expose others, but forget they're living in glass houses too." Everyone knew who she was talking about. In the middle of all this, Carly couldn't stay quiet. She had been in the same circle long enough to see things up close, and when she finally spoke, the internet froze. During an interview, she said, "Let's just say Ashley's been playing with fire for a long time, and now the flames are catching up." The interviewer pressed for details, and Carly hesitated before adding, "Sometimes the person you least expect is the one who betrays the deepest." Within minutes, fans started tagging Mendeecees and Ashley, convinced Carly had confirmed what everyone was already thinking. But that wasn't all. Carly went live later that night, hinting that she had seen something no one else had. She said, "If the truth comes out, a lot of people gonna have to apologize to Zayne." Her tone was calm but cutting, and it sent shockwaves across every social platform. Some accused her of clout chasing, others praised her for telling it like it is. Regardless, her words reignited the storm just as it was starting to fade. Ashley's camp scrambled to control the situation. Her publicist released a short statement denying the affair rumors, calling them baseless and damaging. But the statement did not address the pregnancy, and that silence was enough to keep the rumors alive. People started comparing recent photos of Ashley, pointing out subtle changes in her body, claiming that she looked different. Paparazzi shots from a grocery store run became breaking news. Meanwhile, Zayne was trying to move forward, but every time he tried to escape the headlines, another leak dragged him back. One day, a message thread surfaced showing Ashley and Mendeecees allegedly texting late at night. The messages were blurry, unverified, but believable enough to cause another media frenzy. Zayne reportedly called his lawyer again, furious that his personal life was being turned into entertainment. He told a friend, "They're out there living like nothing happened, while my life's being torn apart." Inside sources said Ashley had started facing severe anxiety because of the relentless backlash. Her inner circle claimed she was struggling to sleep, terrified of stepping outside and constantly checking her phone for updates. One insider mentioned that Ashley had confided in someone saying, "I made mistakes, but not the ones they think." That single line left everyone wondering what she meant. Was she admitting to something different or denying everything completely? As the drama unfolded, Mendeecees' partner, Yandy, was drawn into the chaos too. Rumors swirled that she had confronted him privately, demanding to know the truth about Ashley. Though no one knows what happened behind closed doors, insiders said Yandy was furious. She reportedly told a friend, "I can handle drama, but not disrespect." Those words alone were enough to suggest that the situation inside their home wasn't calm either. And just when fans thought things couldn't get any more complicated, an anonymous source dropped another bombshell. Ashley's hospital visit wasn't just for checkups, it was for a prenatal scan. Though the source offered no proof, the timing lined up too perfectly with everything else. Social media exploded again, hashtags trending worldwide as people demanded answers. Was Mendeecees really the father? Was the pregnancy even real? Or was the entire scandal built on manipulation and revenge? The chaos was no longer just about gossip. It had become personal warfare. Zayne was done being silent. Ashley was fighting to protect what little privacy she had left, and Mendeecees was walking a dangerous line between denial and exposure. But beneath the noise, one thing was clear. Someone was lying. And the truth, whenever it finally surfaced, had the power to destroy more than just relationships. It could shatter reputations, families, and everything these people had built in front of the world. The storm didn't settle. If anything, it became more explosive. People close to the situation said that after Carly's cryptic live, Ashley reached out to her privately, demanding to know why she was stirring things up. That call, according to one insider, turned into a shouting match. Ashley accused Carly of using her pain for attention, while Carly fired back, saying, "You brought this on yourself when you played both." Carly posting a single story that read, "Truth hurts more than lies ever could." Within minutes, that story was shared across every gossip page, reigniting public interest in the scandal. Zayne, meanwhile, was living like a man who had lost everything. He'd moved into a friend's guest house, barely speaking to anyone. Those who saw him said he looked hollow, drained, and colder than ever before. Yet, behind that silence, he was preparing for a move that no one saw coming. Legal sources claimed he had instructed his team to request full separation of assets and file an emergency clause regarding marital deception. It wasn't just a divorce anymore. He was ready to expose everything. As news of his legal action broke, Ashley's world began collapsing. Brands she had partnerships with started suspending contracts. Her social media engagement dropped drastically, with every post filled with comments demanding the truth. Even her closest friends started distancing themselves, afraid that being seen with her could drag them into the chaos. One of them told reporters, "It's sad because she's not evil. She just made choices she can't take back." But the biggest blow came when new footage leaked. Clearer this time, longer, and more damning. The video showed Ashley sitting on a hospital bed, visibly emotional, with Mendeecees standing beside her, his hand resting gently on her shoulder. Though no one could hear what was being said, the image spoke volumes. Fans froze the frame, zoomed in, analyzed every gesture. "That's all the confirmation we need," one post read, gaining thousands of likes. The clip's release caused absolute chaos. Mendeecees' name began trending within minutes. People demanded he speak, tagging him relentlessly in posts. And finally, after days of silence, he broke it, but not in the way anyone expected. During an appearance on a live stream with a fellow castmate, someone brought up the rumors. Mendeecees sighed, smiled faintly, and said, "People love to make stories out of things they don't understand." The host pressed him, asking if he was denying it, and he replied, "Sometimes it's better to let the truth come out on its own." That answer was vague enough to fuel 1,000 theories. Ashley's reaction to his words reportedly wasn't calm. According to a friend, she broke down crying when she saw the clip. She said he left her to face the world alone, the friend revealed. She thought he'd at least defend her, but instead, he just let her burn. Insiders claimed Ashley tried reaching out to him, but her calls went unanswered. It seemed that even Mendeecees was stepping back as the situation spiraled further out of control. On the other side, Yandy was said to be furious. Those close to her described the atmosphere in her house as tense and cold. She had apparently told Mendeecees that if there was even an ounce of truth to what was being said, their relationship was over. "I've fought too hard to be embarrassed like this," she reportedly told him. And while no public confrontation happened, her silence on social media, where she was normally active, was enough to tell the world something wasn't right. Fans were watching every move. Influencers began hosting live discussions, dissecting timelines, matching dates, and claiming that Ashley and Mendeecees' connection went back farther than anyone realized. One even shared an old event photo, showing the two standing close together, smiling like old friends. "They've been too comfortable for too long," someone commented. As all of this unfolded, Zayne finally resurfaced. He attended a charity gala, his first public appearance since filing for divorce. Dressed in black, he kept his distance from everyone, barely smiling. Yet when a reporter asked how he was holding up, he simply said, "Some endings are blessings in disguise." That line spread everywhere. People began calling it Zayne's redemption era, while others pointed out how visibly different he looked, calm yet broken. The same night, Ashley posted something on her story for the first time in weeks. It was just a black background with the words, "Truth always wins, even if it's late." No names, no details, but everyone assumed it was directed at Zayne. Minutes later, her comment section turned into a war zone. Supporters of Zayne accused her of playing the victim, while others defended her, saying she was being unfairly attacked. As the tension mounted, one of Ashley's ex-assistants came forward with shocking claims. In a leaked interview, she said, "Ashley wasn't lying about everything. But there are parts of the story no one knows yet. What's coming will change how people see all of them." She didn't elaborate, but her statement was enough to keep everyone guessing. Who was she referring to? What did she mean by all of them? Rumors began spreading that the assistant had proof, voice recordings, screenshots, and private messages, linking Mendeecees and Ashley long before the scandal broke. Allegedly, one of those messages hinted at the pregnancy months before anyone knew. No one could confirm if it was real, but even the possibility sent fans into overdrive. People began demanding that she release everything, turning her into an overnight celebrity. And then, as if things couldn't get any worse, a close friend of Zayne leaked that he had taken a paternity test for peace of mind. That phrase alone caused chaos. Was he implying he wasn't sure the baby was his? Or that he already knew it wasn't? Within hours, bloggers began posting headlines suggesting Zayne had confirmed the affair indirectly. Every move, every word, every silence now carried meaning. Ashley's family tried stepping in, asking her to come home and lay low. Her mother reportedly begged her to stop fighting and just focus on the baby. Those words hit hard, not only because they confirmed what many already believed, but because they revealed how deep the family rift had grown. Even Ashley's relatives were divided. Some believed her, others thought she was hiding the truth. In one heartbreaking scene caught by paparazzi, Ashley was seen leaving her home late at night, visibly crying with a small suitcase in hand. The photo, blurred and grainy, became the symbol of her downfall. A once-loved star now trapped in the storm she couldn't escape. She looked fragile, almost unrecognizable, and fans couldn't help but feel a strange mix of sympathy and judgment. But just as everyone thought the scandal had reached its peak, a new rumor surfaced, one that changed everything. According to an anonymous source, Zayne had received a private message from someone close to Mendeecees' camp, revealing that the baby might indeed be his. The claim was explosive but unverified. Still, it was enough to make headlines again, pushing the story into another spiral. No one knew what to believe anymore. Every exclusive, every leak, every emotional post only added layers to the mystery. The truth was buried beneath mountains of speculation, pride, and heartbreak. And in the middle of it all stood three people: Zayne, Ashley, and Mendeecees, each trapped in their own version of the story, waiting for the next move that could either destroy or redeem them forever. As days turned into weeks, the scandal that started with a single leaked video had become a wildfire nobody could control. Every major entertainment outlet had run the story from every possible angle. Blogs were dropping exclusive updates daily. Podcasts were dissecting every quote, and fans online were acting like detectives, piecing together fragments of truth and rumor. Yet, for all the noise, none of the three main players, Ashley, Zayne, or Mendeecees, had offered anything concrete. And that silence was deafening. Behind the scenes, things had taken a darker turn. Sources close to Ashley claimed she was barely functioning. She'd stopped leaving her house, wasn't taking calls, and had even paused her filming schedule. One friend described her state as a mix of fear and exhaustion. Reportedly, she felt cornered, betrayed not just by the media, but by the people she thought would protect her. "Everyone's making money off my pain," she told someone close, her voice breaking. The pregnancy rumors were no longer whispers. They were full-blown headlines. And when an anonymous hospital staff member leaked what they claimed was a sonogram under Ashley's name, the internet went into meltdown. The image was blurry and partially redacted, but the date and initials were enough for people to assume it was real. Ashley's team immediately denied it, calling it a gross invasion of privacy, but the denial didn't stop the flood of commentary. It was everywhere. Ashley caught, Mendeecees exposed, Zayne vindicated. Zayne, meanwhile, was regaining his composure. After weeks of silence, he appeared in a podcast interview looking calmer, more collected. When asked about the situation, he smiled faintly and said, "You can't lose something that was never really yours." The host tried to push further, asking if he thought Mendeecees was the father, but Zayne kept it vague. Time always tells the truth. That short line became the quote of the week. Fans praised his restraint, calling him classy under pressure, while others speculated that his calmness meant he already knew everything. Mendeecees, however, was far from calm behind the scenes. Insiders claimed he had been dealing with tension at home, with Yandy demanding answers he didn't have. Their once solid partnership was reportedly hanging by a thread. At one point, a source claimed Yandy told him, "You've embarrassed me enough. I can't keep fighting for a man who doesn't protect his family." Though she made no public statement, her sudden disappearance from social media only confirmed that things weren't fine. Then came the bombshell. A private conversation leaked between Aherd saying, "I didn't mean for it to happen like this. I was confused, everything got too real too fast." Though she never mentioned names, fans were quick to connect the dots. They believed she was talking about Mendeecees. The phrase, "too real too fast," trended for days, becoming a meme, a joke, and a tragedy all at once. After that leak, Zayne's patience broke. He released a single statement through his lawyer confirming that he had initiated proceedings for full dissolution of marriage and that irreconcilable differences related to trust and honesty were the reason. He didn't mention Ashley by name, but everyone knew. It was final. The end had come. But what shocked everyone even more was what happened next. A mysterious email was sent to several gossip outlets from an unverified source claiming to have proof that Ashley's pregnancy wasn't just real. It was already months along, and the timeline matched her rumored connection with Mendeecees. Attached were supposed appointment logs and messages suggesting ongoing communication between the two. No outlet could confirm the authenticity, but they all ran the story anyway. By then, truth didn't matter. Drama did. Ashley's name became synonymous with betrayal. Overnight, she lost thousands of followers, sponsorships, and even close friends. Her former assistant posted a cryptic tweet that read, "You can't hide forever." Eventually, the receipts find their way out. That post exploded online, and people demanded she release everything she had. Still, nothing concrete emerged, just fragments of screenshots, half-blurred names, and vague statements. But those fragments were enough to keep the scandal alive. The tension came to a boiling point when Carly, the same person who had hinted at the affair earlier, decided to go all in. She appeared on a live stream claiming, "I told y'all months ago something was off. I saw them together, and it wasn't no friendly hug." She went on to describe a night when she allegedly saw Ashley and Mendeecees at a private after-party, whispering and leaving together. Her tone was smug, confident, and final. "Everybody wanna act shocked now, but the truth been right in front of y'all," she said. The internet went insane. Ashley's team called Carly's claims false and defamatory, but Carly stood her ground, even posting a photo of her outfit from that same night as proof she was there. "Receipts, baby," she captioned. Fans were split. Some praised her for exposing the truth. Others accused her of clout chasing. But no one could deny that her timing was perfect. The story was trending again, just as it was starting to fade. As for Mendeecees, he stayed eerily quiet. Every time reporters caught him out, he smiled and said, "No comment." But his silence wasn't helping. If anything, it was making him look guiltier. People started saying he was protecting Ashley by staying silent, while others claimed he was waiting for DNA results before speaking. Nobody knew for sure, and the lack of clarity only deepened the mystery. Then, late one evening, an audio leak surfaced that changed everything. It was a voicemail from Zayne to Ashley. In it, he said, "I hope he's worth all this. I hope when you look at that child, you see what you gave up." The pain in his voice was raw, trembling, real. It wasn't performative. It was heartbreak captured in sound. Within minutes, it spread like wildfire. Fans replayed it, analyzed it, and cried over it. It humanized Zayne in a way no interview ever could. But for Ashley, it was another wound. She was seen days later entering a clinic with dark glasses, avoiding cameras, her hand protectively over her stomach. No words, no statement. Just a single image that told an entire story. And when fans saw that photo, opinions began to shift slightly. Some started feeling sorry for her. Others wondered if maybe she had been pushed too far. Mendeecees, on the other hand, was reportedly trying to repair things with Yandy. Insiders said he promised to cut off all contact with Ashley, insisting that the rumors were exaggerated. But behind that calm, something felt off. Because while he denied everything publicly, private whispers suggested he was still checking in on Ashley quietly, through mutual friends. It was a tangled mess of emotions, secrets, and regret. Everyone had lost something. Zayne lost his marriage and peace. Ashley lost her reputation and trust. And Mendeecees lost the stability he'd fought for. Yet the story was far from over. There were still unanswered questions, missing pieces, and truths waiting to surface. And as one insider chillingly put it to a gossip blog, the baby isn't the end of the story. It's just the beginning of a much bigger secret. And just like that, the entire situation spiraled into something no one could have imagined. Friendships ruined, relationships shattered, and careers hanging in the balance, all because of one secret that refused to stay buried. Ashley's silence, Zayne's heartbreak, and Mendeecees' quiet denial have left fans with more questions than answers. Is the baby really his? Will Ashley ever speak her truth? And what does this mean for Yandy, who's been holding her family together through one scandal after another? As the dust settles, one thing is clear. This story isn't done unfolding. New details could drop any day, and when they do, the entire reality TV world will explode all over again. Until then, fans are left refreshing their feeds, waiting for someone to slip up, for one leaked text or one unexpected post to confirm what everyone's been whispering about. But what do you think really happened behind the scenes? Was this all just a series of misunderstandings blown out of proportion? Or is there something far deeper that's being hidden from the public eye? Tell us your thoughts in the comments. We're reading every single one. And if you want to stay ahead of the next twist in this unbelievable saga, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Because with stories like this, one thing's for sure, the truth always finds its way out, no matter how hard anyone tries to bury it.